Okay, so I thought while I'm doing a whole run of other videos, I might as well make this one as well. So, what's the difference between hardwood and softwood? Well, the difference between them is softwood, well, is generally softer with a lower density and less weight than hardwood. Now, a lot of people tell you that softwood is no good for burning. I disagree, because I can put a great big softwood log in my fire and it will burn all night. It'll burn for a whole 8 hours, no worries. Maybe even longer if it's big enough. But yeah, basically, hardwood is better, but it doesn't mean softwood should just be completely ignored as a completely stupid alternative, because it is a real alternative. But softwood basically is softer. It's easier to cut with your saws. To be able to tell the difference, you can get a nail. If you've got real heavy fingernails, like real heavy thumbnails like some older men do, and mine's almost good enough to do it, I have actually tested it out and it does work, is you can indent the wood with your fingernail. Now, if you can indent the wood with your fingernail, it's not always a good one to go because we don't all have the same fingernails. But the other way is to use a nail, like a normal hammer and nail, and if you can indent it by holding onto the nail like, you know, normal, and just sort of pushing it in, and you can indent the wood with that nail, it'll be softwood. If you can't dent the wood with that nail, it'll be hardwood. Of course, softwood is easier to cut and it's lighter weight. Hardwood is harder to cut, like it's slower to cut, and it's a lot heavier. Softwood is less dense, hardwood is more dense. And when you got a big bunch of wood from somewhere, just all random construction leftovers or whatever, or demolished building, or a whole mix of different logs that people have left behind, or that someone's cut, not knowing what they've cut, they've just gone out and cut a few trees out and or cleared out the yard, and they can't tell what one's what once they chop it up into sort of logs or whatever, and you want to be able to tell the difference. That's the way, you know, to tell the difference. And you end up, it's not like there's a sort of in between, can't work out. It's sort of really either one or the other, and you can really pick the difference quite easy. But the one that will screw you up is if you get wood rot, and this particularly happens with logs that have been, or even, you know, branches and that, they've been sitting on the ground for, you know, a couple of years, especially in like I got some stuff out of this temperate rainforest that was a property basically on the edge of the temperate rainforest, and they wanted to clear up all the crap that had collapsed off of old trees and that, and I got some of that wood, and one of it was a piece of hardwood, and one part of the branch was fine, and the other part of the branch, oh gosh, I could just snapped it with both hands. It had wood rot because it's been sitting on the ground for several years. And the wood had basically gone rotten because of being constantly soaked with water. And you may confuse hardwood for softwood when you come across this, but realise that if you've recently got it and it's still very damp, if you can crumble it away in your fingers, if it is literally the weight of cardboard, then that's wood rot. Whether it's softwood or hardwood, if it feels as heavy as cardboard does, that's wood rot. Because softwood is heavier than wood with wood rot. So that is a way to tell between having wood rot in any sort of wood compared to softwood. And really, seriously, there's a massive weight difference and also a massive density difference between softwood and hardwood, so it's very hard to confuse the two. Just another note to US viewers, apparently there's poison oak, is what some of the cheap forklift pellets are made out of. You don't want to be burning that, I'm told. So just keep an eye out for, try and work out how to pick poison oak and steer clear of it, but that's just for US viewers. But yeah, that's Had to sell softwood from hardwood.